don't think so. I guess the other thing is the rights in terms of languages. So, for example, at Inspired Quill, it's worldwide rights for the English language only. We do work with an agent for worldwide rights, but that's a separate thing that the authors can opt in or out of as they like. I guess the other thing would be to take a look and just see if the contract is written to, as an author, to kind of keep you in, or as a way of forming a partnership of accountability. So, for example, with the Inspired Quill contracts, a few years ago, I decided to put another clause in that stipulated the minimum marketing that we would do per book. Yeah. Again, from horror stories of, authors published by the big publishing houses with, a 5K advance, and then absolute crickets when it comes to marketing. I wanted to, really say, look, we are committed to, sending out this many emails, getting this many reviews, spending this much money at a launch event for you, doing X, Y, Z, to really sort of solidify the feeling that it's a partnership. And we do really find as well that the authors who we work with who do more, and not just by themselves, but ask for help as well. My background is digital marketing, so there's no excuse really. The authors that do their part and ask for help do much better than the authors who kind of go, well, my book's out, that's it.
Well, let's dive right into that, and then we'll come back and we'll pick up from where we left off with the contract's been signed. But while we're here, let's talk a little bit about marketing, other than convincing your editor to come with you on the Middle Grade Ninja podcast, which obviously we all agree is the savviest move that you could make. What are the most effective things that you can be doing, Dorothy, to go out and market your book?
Me? Well, there are certain things that are just sort of cliched. You need to be on Twitter. You need to be on Facebook. Let me put it this way. You need to be on social media. And that's not necessarily any given platform in social media, because I think some people are more comfortable on one platform than on another. I like Twitter, for instance. I don't like Instagram. I don't know what to do with just images. But I know another writer who's very, very good on Instagram. So I think, but you do need to be out there just to have some voice. I usually, so I look at lists of bloggers, like, for instance, Middle Grade Ninja, and I contact.
Why would you even keep looking after that? I mean,
after that, well, I'm looking for places to maybe review or do guest posts or interviews or whatever. And I know Inspired Quill does that too. They're looking from their end also, but I am too. And because there's just so many places you can look that nobody can look at them all. And so, I keep track and do that. I go to author fairs. In the Chicago area, a lot of the libraries under ordinary times have author fairs where you can go and, they give you, there'll be maybe 20 authors there. You have a table with your books on it, and anyone coming in, now obviously they're coming in to borrow books, not buy, but they still will look at your books, and sometimes they'll buy them, and at least you can give them, like I have bookmarks, I can give them one of my bookmarks, and so you kind of enjoy yourself. I enjoy myself that way. I don't know. What else do I do? I can't think. I don't know, I guess. This time, one of the things that's interesting is that once you've built a contact with a blogger, they often ask you back. So, like, I did a guest post for Middle Grade Ninja, and when I contacted you, I think that made it, about the Wysman, I think that made it easier.
Yeah, no, I was about to toss your email straight to the incinerator, and I said, oh, wait, Dorothy Winsor, I remember. She wrote that fantastic guest post.
I think I put the link in there for you.
No, honestly, all jokes aside, it really was a difference maker in this case, because you sent me that closer to the beginning of quarantine when I was still trying to figure out whether or not how dramatically life was going to change and what I was still going to be able to do for authors. And I had literally turned down some other folks that same day. And I said, "Oh, well, Dorothy Winsor, I know Dorothy. Yeah, no, we'll figure something out for Dorothy."
Oh, that's very nice. Thank you. Anyway, it does. I think personal relationships actually matter a lot. If you can, once again, sound like a person, sound like a human being.
Yeah.
And Sarah, to you.
Yeah, so I think you can kind of break down marketing to online and offline. Offline, things like events, doing readings in bookshops, going to libraries. If you're a genre writer, so sci-fi fantasy, there's always a lot of conventions. So, for example, Inspired Quill went to Dublin last year for Worldcon, which was amazing. Super expensive, but amazing. And that kind of gives you the real ability to connect with readers in a very authentic way, because they can see the sincerity of the person who's speaking with them. Online, it's slightly more difficult. So, as I mentioned, Inspired Quill was a book review blog sort of 10 years ago. And I send out probably between 5 and 20 emails every single week to book bloggers. And I am lucky if I get 1 or 2 responses, not even a canned response, but literally any kind of response, which is a little bit disheartening in a lot of ways, because I always make sure that I don't just do a scattergun approach. So it's not as if I've got a list and I'll just send out a bulk email to 100 people. So that can be a little disheartening sometimes. But in terms of other marketing, Dorothy was saying about being on different platforms, but being on platforms that you actually enjoy using, which is incredibly important, because otherwise you just stop using it and what's the use? And also that there's a little bit of a Venn diagram there with where's your target audience, I guess. So if you're trying to be the next Marie Kondo with a book about organizing things and that sort of niche, then you probably want to be on Pinterest or Instagram. If you're writing something that's more sort of slightly technical based with lots of information, maybe you want to be on Quora. If your audience skews younger, maybe you want to go for booktubers or Facebook, for example. So that side of things, I think a lot of authors get very anxious about marketing, because they see marketing as like this big monolith of, oh, I've got to do all of the things, when thankfully that's not the case.